Good evening, everyone. This is Shauna, and I'm coming to you tonight from my home office, as usual, during this post sort of pandemic season, although I'm still um, isolating myself for various reasons. I just wanted to come tonight because it's been a while since I've actually recorded a video, and tomorrow is the first day of summer officially. So I wanted to give you guys an update about what's been going on with me and what you might expect over the next couple of months. Um, First of all, a bit of housekeeping. My tutoring is officially done for the spring semester. I had one of the longest spring semesters in recent memory. It lasted all the way into the first week of June, and I do have a couple of students that will be persisting with me into the summer and into the fall. But right now, I'm basically on a break. Both of my jobs are on temporary hiatuses. And so I'm using this time to sort of recharge, clean up, continue some of the projects that I started when this pandemic started. And so um, I also wanted to congratulate those of you who graduated this last spring. It was another different graduation for us. Cerritos College elected to do what they call the commencement. So they allowed one vehicle per graduate, and they had a graduation route that they took everybody on, and they had decorations and balloons and music and people cheering. Mostly our board members from Cerritos College there, cheering on those of you who graduated. And they put the whole commencement on YouTube. It's an 8-hour video link um, because of obviously they didn't have continuous vehicles in the procession. So if you're interested, you can look up the commencement for Cerritos College. But we are planning to return to campus in the fall. Um, Faculty and staff will return on August 2nd as needed in the departments, up to 50% capacity with social distancing and cleanliness procedures and lots of protocols in place, which if you are returning or you will be returning, I'm sure you'll be familiar with that, so I won't bore you with that here. I have not heard exactly if I will be returning to campus as an hourly employee, but I do plan on returning remotely, and I have asked for permission to remain remote until January. So we'll see what happens with that. Now that we've opened up, at least in California, in theory, we have been open completely with masks and social distancing encouraged, but not required in many places. We've been open since the 15th of June. So if you do some math, if our official reopening from the um, stay-at-home order was on March 13th, I believe was when Governor Newsom issued his order. That was a Friday. And we officially reopened in June of 2021 on June 15th. So we're looking at all of 2020, or I should say most of 2020 into 2021. So just about 14 months of isolation, restrictions, differences. And as far as life here at the facility goes, things have relaxed a bit for those of you who have asked. We can accept visitors, but visitors have to be masked and they have to observe 6 feet of social distancing, and you do need an appointment first. Visitors outside on the patio are much more encouraged than visitors inside the house, and there are protocols in place. So, in theory, we can have social visits, but there are a lot of restrictions still. But probably the most important change is that we can now go out for medical care if we need it. And so I'm starting to put some of that in place. There are lots of things, as you might imagine, that have gone by the wayside, as they have for many of us over the last year and a half, uh, that I need to catch up on. But life here is going okay. It's a little bit different. I'm still adjusting, and I've been continuing with some of the projects that, if you followed my series of videos early on in the pandemic, the Read Your Shelves project, the um, cleaning out my closets. That's been my newest thing lately, is looking at my closet and cleaning out stuff that sort of piles up in there, as it does for everyone, and deciding what I'd like to get rid of and what I need to keep and what we need to cycle back with. But um, that project is still going on. My tech projects are still going on. The Chromebook that you're seeing me on now is scheduled to reach its automatic update expiration, which means that it won't receive automatic updates and it will basically be vulnerable after September this year. But I do have a lot on this machine and I do get a lot out of it still. It still runs perfectly fine, and it's about 6 years old, which is a testament to how well it was made and put together. Um, but I do have another computer that was a project that I worked with my employment agency on, and it's an Acer computer. It's an Acer Aspire 3 that I got recently in the last couple of months, and I'm still learning how to use it, how to put things together on it, and I'll be using it more in the coming months. I'm still going through files on the Chromebook and deciding what I'm going to keep, what I need to save, and what's going to go. So my plan is to try and make a video at least once a quarter that's just an update video to let you guys know some of the things I've been doing, letting you know that we're still doing okay. One of my housemates did move out recently, and so we now have 3 clients here, and but everybody's healthy, everybody's doing fine, and we're waiting to see um, who we might get in order to replace that client, who else might be coming in to be with us. Also, I wanted to show you, let me put up the gallery and share my screen at this time so that you can see, if I can get it together. There we go. This is the newest book that I started reading. It's called All Systems Red. It's a hard science fiction novella, actually. It's not really a novel. It's more like a novella by Martha Wells. It is a series, and I had been hesitant to pick it up and hold out. And I've got a couple of books that I've been looking at, but it's been recommended on YouTube quite a lot. and it's also um, been shuffled around in a lot of circles that I've been in. And so far, I've been able to surmise that it's about a robot, a sentient robot, that the makers of it put some sophisticated software in it to make it sentient, to make it have feelings, and it has hacked itself, basically, because what the humans did was hack it to be sort of a security machine that is capable of murdering people and participating in combat. And it's hacked itself so that it um, doesn't receive some of those messages, or it can override them. So it's sort of trying to fight its own programming, if you will. Um, Very interesting book so far. Much more engaging than some of the robot fiction that I've read. I have read quite a few other books this year, but I haven't felt compelled to talk about them too much. But again, this is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. So when I finish it, I will come back to you and let you know what I thought of it. The other book that I did spend some time with was actually a reread, and I didn't remember that I had read it before. But it's a start of it's the first book, I should say, in a series. It's called Crocodile on the Sandbank. Let me see if I can bring it up for you. Give me a minute here. Um, Crocodile on the Sandbank. It's a series by Elizabeth Peters, and um, she wrote about a an amateur Egyptologist slash archaeologist that no, I can't find the picture of the book right now. Let me see if I have it here. But excuse me, it's about this um, amateur archaeologist called Amelia Peabody, and her father dies, and her father is much more well off than anybody believed he was. And he was a scholar, and he taught his daughter to be a scholar as well. And she has a that movie as much as the story takes place in the late 1800s. So you hear a lot about how uh, she's not the typical hysterical woman who can't live without a man in her life. So there's a lot of sort of push against the typical mores and the typical gender roles of that time period. Um, the violence, most of the violence and the real um, unseemliness happens away from the page. It's not particularly violent. It's more unseemly. There is um, an attempted kidnapping, and there's some spookiness, but it's not violent. I may go to the second book in the series. It wasn't weak. There were some elements that I really liked. I really liked the character of Amelia. And I liked the historical flavor of the book. Elizabeth Peters has a lot of education in ancient Egypt and Egyptology, and it shows in this book. So if you're into that, you might enjoy that. This book was written in 1976, I think, originally. So I might go on to the second book in the series, but I really like the character, but I'm not super compelled by the series to continue. So we'll see what happens with that. That is Crocodile on the Sandbank by Elizabeth Peters, the first book in the Amelia Peabody series. Um, also, I'm um, I'm doing quite a lot with my preparation for the fall. Um, I don't know quite yet what what else I'll be doing to prepare, but if you are my student or would like to be my student, expect my standard letter that goes out to my students in the fall. Expect it shortly. I'm honestly taking a break right now, trying to take stock of what's going on. But I just wanted to give you guys a flavor for some of that. And I will be doing some upgrades to my technology over the summer. So if you are um, going to be joining in my virtual sessions, you'll see some of that as we go along. And I'm hoping that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, this finds you well. I hope you're all safe and happy. And I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video. Be well, everyone. Stay safe. Be healthy. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye for now.